Hey everyone, welcome. Today we are talking about how to nail the sale, the premium client conversion blueprint. So, have you ever gotten on a call with a dream client only for them to say something like, I need to think about it? You gave it your all, you explained your offer, they seemed interested, but in the end, no sale. You walk away confused, frustrated, and wondering what you missed. So, if that sounds familiar, then this video is going to flip that switch because today I'm going to give you the exact conversion blueprint that turns warm leads into high ticket clients consistently without begging. Definitely don't want that. Without begging, without chasing, without lowering your price. If you stick with me today until the end, you'll know exactly how to confidently lead every sale conversation with ease so that you can stop hoping for the sale and start expecting it. So, hey everyone, I'm Heather Blaze. If you don't know me already, I help coaches, consultants, and experts build profitable, freedom based businesses that enroll premium clients like clockwork. My fast track to money blueprint has helped dozens, hundreds actually. Hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs go from dry pipelines to inconsistent cash flow to 5-figure months with high ticket clients. So, if you're done with sales calls that go nowhere, ghosted DMs, and constantly questioning your pricing or delivery, this is where it changes because every converting premium client isn't about being pushy. That's the opposite of what we want. It's about having the right framework. And here's what we're going to dive into today. First and foremost, why your sales calls are falling flat and how to shift them instantly. The second thing I want to go over today with you is the 3-part nail the sale framework that really turns interest into investment. The third thing is what to say, when to say it, and how to handle objections with confidence. And then fourth is the mindset shift that will make you magnetic in every sales conversation. So stay with me until the end because I'm going to give you a bonus tool also that you can start using immediately to improve your conversion rate. So grab a notebook and pen. Let's get into it. If you're not here watching this live, you can pause it. And if you are here live, you can put hashtag live in the comments. And if you're here watching the replay, you can put hashtag replay and just say hi if you're here live. If you want to shout out, let me know your name and I will give you a shout out. So let's get into it. First, let's be honest. Okay. Sales can feel awkward when you're first starting out. I know it did for me, especially when you deeply care about your work and you're not really a salesperson. That was me when I first started out. I'd never done sales really. I mean, retail sales, does that count? I don't know. When I first got into selling my program, I was like, I'm not a salesperson. I'm a business coach. Essentially, I help business owners succeed. I've been helping business owners succeed since 1996. And that didn't really, I mean, I guess it kind of involved sales, but I don't know. I just was terrible at sales. I was coming from this really needy, kind of desperate place, sometimes very attached to the end result and really wanting to be liked instead of holding that doctor frame, which I'll get into in a little bit. But most coaches struggle with sales, not because they don't have something valuable, but because they're stuck in one of these patterns that I'm going to mention here. One of the patterns, they over teach on the call because they're coaches, right? They want to teach, they want to help, trying to prove their worth, right? It's kind of this pretense. Or they sound nervous or apologetic about their pricing. They're not confident in what they're pricing. And I mean, I teach people how to go from hours for dollars, charging, $60, $100, $50 an hour, or trading their time for money, to high ticket programs, high ticket offers between $3,000 and $12,000. And so at first that can feel really nerve wracking. And, in the back of your mind is like, who's going to pay that? Why would anybody pay that? Right? For me, I wouldn't pay that. So why would anybody else pay that? But Anyway, I'm not going to get into that today. But what happens is a lot of times when coaches aren't really confident in their pricing, they sound nervous or apologetic about their pricing. And then the third thing is that they lack a structure and they just kind of wing it, hoping that a client will just say yes. So those three are three patterns that a lot of coaches get stuck into. And then the result of that, it confuses the prospects. It ends up in missed opportunities and also lost income. So here's the truth though. People don't say no because of your price. I'm going to say that again. People don't say no because of your price. Okay. They say no because they don't fully trust that your offer is going to get them what they want, that end result. It's all about the end result. It's all about their problem and what they want. Okay. What's in it for me? They want to know, right? And that's why structure and leadership during your sales conversation is really everything. So let me share with you my three-part premium client conversion framework that turns curious leads into excited buyers. So step number one, and hopefully you have your pen and paper ready here, is you want to lead with clarity. The first few minutes of your call, you really want to set that tone. And this is something I went deep on with my sales coach. I had a sales coach that I worked with for at least a year. We one-on-one, we'd meet at least once a week. We'd go through my calls. I'd record my calls. We'd go through them and we would just dissect them. So there was a lot going on. And we were really strategic about things. And he would give me that feedback and stuff. Shout out to Mike Lamoth if you're here. Or if you ever watch this. Anyway, he's the best. But instead of jumping straight into questions or small talk, you want to start by framing that conversation. So you want to say something like, today's call is about getting clear on where you are, where you want to be, what's been getting in the way. And if I can help you get there faster, we'll talk about what that would look like. Like I see a lot of people jumping on the calls like, oh, hi, thanks for being here. So glad you were able to make this time, right? That's kind of like this needy energy, right? Instead of like, if you're a doctor, when you go into a doctor's office, they don't act like that. They don't say, oh, thanks for coming in. I'm so glad you were able to come in so we could help you. Like they don't say that, right? They're like, okay, let's figure out like what's happening. What do what do you ultimately want? Like, is your arm hurt? Is it broken? Is it bruised? Did you scrape it? Like what's going on, right? The doctor's just very curious, concerned, you know, trying to understand what's really going on. And that's how you want to be when people come in to your sales calls, right? You want to come from I call it the 3 C's, the curiosity, concerned, and caring frame, right? It's like they've got a problem. Maybe you can help them, maybe you can't. You got to get this understanding of where they're at. Is this going to be a good fit for you, type of thing? Anyway, I'm kind of going off the rails here, but this instantly establishes authority and it calms the nerves for both of you if you're coming in with this neutral energy. Then guide the conversation through these three layers. You want to have the current reality, like what's going on right now. You want to have clarity around that. You also need clarity around what's their desired future, like what do they really want? And then what are their roadblocks? What's stopping them from getting there? So your job is really to uncover the gap between where they are and where they want to be. And then you position your offer as that bridge to bring them there. Does that make sense? Put in the comments if you're following me. The second step is then diagnose, right? You want to diagnose before you prescribe. This is what a doctor would do. So if you're thinking of yourself like a doctor, you wouldn't just walk into a room and say, you need surgery, right? Without asking questions. You listen, you assess, you ask deeper questions. Sales is no different. Okay. You want to ask questions that really help the client think critically. You want to ask the questions to get them to the point where they're like, okay, I have like they have clarity around what's going on, right? So things like, why do you think this keeps happening? Or, what's going on? Why do you think this keeps happening? How long has it been going on for? What have you tried before? If they tried something, what was missing? If they haven't tried anything, like you just kind of asking questions, right? How is this impacting your business or your life overall? And getting really deep on that. So this not only builds trust, but it also gets them to emotionally invest, right? It gets them emotionally invested in solving the problem now instead of later. Like, what's the cost of inaction? What's the cost of action, right? Then you transition into offering your solution, but you do it with permission. So you would say something like, well, based on what you've shared, I can see exactly where you're stuck. Would it be okay if I walk you through what working together would look like, or what I see is happening? Now they're open, now they're receptive, now they're curious. So then the third step is then enrolling them. Like, you're not convincing people. I hear that a lot. People are like, I just can't convince people to buy from me. And it's like, well, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be convincing people. You need to enroll them into what you have to offer. So again, a lot of people freeze up here. They get nervous talking about pricing, and again, it's because they're not strategic about it, right? They're not confident about it too. So they get nervous about talking about pricing. They downplay their offer. They might have money blocks too that they haven't gotten over. So I work on all this stuff really deeply with my clients to get them super confident about the value they're offering. So, and how to price it according to their value and what their ideal client would be eager to pay. Okay. And then how to communicate it so that they think it's a bargain too. So there's a lot that goes into it. Very strategic. But anyway, a lot of coaches, when they don't do that, they downplay their offer. They start rambling or over justifying it. So you don't need to sell the offer. You need to confidently invite them into a solution that changes their life, right? So when you present your offer, focus on the transformation, not the logistics. So for example, it could be something like, in this program, we'll create your high ticket offer. We'll build your system to attract qualified leads and give you the scripts and support to enroll premium clients consistently. The investment is $8,000. And here's what that includes, right? So you're kind of speaking slowly. You want to pause, you want to let it land. Like I do, I'll go through again. I help my clients formulate a strategic pitch, and then we ask questions throughout to lead their prospect into that pitch. So they have no choice really other than to say no. I mean, say yes, not to say no. But it's very strategic. So we ask a lot of background things. Once we're confident that they're really solid, that they've got it, then we're like, okay, here's the thing. And then it's all strategically laid out. So it all falls together. You know how you said this? Well, this is how we solve that. You know how you said that? This is how we solve that. So there's no hesitation really, right? So if they hesitate, it's your job to really hold that space, not pressure them, but guide them, right? And then we go really slow when it comes to that too. It's like, does that make sense? Do you have any questions about that specifically? Things like that, right? So we say things like, after we've done all that, it's like, okay, what questions come up for you? Does this feel aligned with what you're looking for, type of thing? Like, what do you think is, if they're like, I don't know, you could say, well, I know you don't know, but what do you think is, what's happening, what's coming up for you, type of thing. And you just let them speak. You just kind of ask them, and then deal with whatever is coming up for them. So when you lead the conversation, right? You don't want them leading the conversation. You're the expert. You're the one that knows your stuff. So you lead the conversation instead of chasing the sale. You earn trust, and that's where you increase conversions. So let's talk about objections. So I kind of touched on it a little bit there, but first you got to know this. Objections are normal. Okay. They're not rejections. They're requests for clarity. Okay. So objections aren't rejections. They're requests for clarity. So a few common ones, and how you can reframe them is I need to think about it. There's really three. There's like, I need to think about it, I can't afford it, and I need to talk to my spouse. Those are the three big ones, right? So I need to think about it is a big one, right? And the reframe is like, I totally get it. You agree with them. Can I ask you, what's the piece that you're still thinking through? That might be something you could say, right? Again, you want it to be very natural, and again, what's coming up for you could be that, so that you get clarity about why they need to think about it or what they need to think about, type of thing. Is it that they need to think about it, or is it that they can't afford it? Is it that they can afford it, but they need to talk to their spouse? Like, there's all these logistics, right? The next one is then, I can't afford it. right? Or I don't have the money. So a reframe is like, I hear you. So if money weren't a concern, would this be the right solution for you though? Right? So you're kind of getting clarity around that. Is it actually the money? Right? Or is it that you don't have the money, or is it that you're not sure where to get the money? That could be too, right? Those are two different things. So they might need to just move things around, or they might need to wait for an income tax return, or they might need to refinance their house, or whatever it is, right? Like if this is a deep issue, a problem, and they see that you're the right solution, they might be just spinning, like thinking, okay, where can I get that money from? Do I need to sell my car? Do I need to, whatever? My ex-boyfriend's motorcycle, that was an actual thing that one of my clients had to do, right? There's so many different scenarios, some people have $8,000 in their purse. You never know, right? Most people don't, but anyway, um, you got to clarify. You got to clarify, is it that they really can't afford it, or is it just not the right fit, or do they not see it as the right fit or the right solution? So that question reveals whether it's really a money objection or if it's something else like fear, doubt, timing. There's so many different variables, right? So that's why you've got to ask them to get clarity. And then also remember, like, people will only invest when the pain of staying stuck becomes greater than the risk of investing, right? What's that cost? So if you didn't go deep enough on the cost, that's a problem. That's your thing, right? That you didn't do. So your job isn't to pressure, and maybe their cost isn't that great. So no big deal. Maybe they don't have any sense of urgency. That's okay too. But asking, like, so why now? Why is this important for you now? Like, why not just keep doing the same thing that you've been doing all the time, right? So getting that clarity is really important. And they were like, oh, I just can't go on. How long has this been going on for? If it's only been going on for a week and they're not really that urgent, maybe it isn't a good time yet, right? Well, when do you want to revisit? You want to see if you can figure this out, in the next 2 months, and then circle back, or, again, not having that detachment. So really makes a difference. So your job isn't to pressure, it's to help them connect the dots between their problem and the cost of not solving it. Okay. So if the cost of not solving it is great and it's been going on for a long time, right? I'm DMing with somebody currently. She said she's been trying to figure out how to get clients online for 2 years now. That's a long time. Like, it shouldn't take that long. It takes 8 weeks for my clients to go through the program and understand how to do that. 2 years is way too long. I mean, some of my clients get their first client within 3 weeks of working with me, before they even finish the program, because they get that clarity really quick. But, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's been done many, many times. So anyway, if it's only been a week and they're just starting, they don't feel that pain yet. They don't feel that sense of urgency yet. Make sense? Put in the comments if it makes sense. Finally, let's talk about the mindset. Okay, so sales isn't manipulation at all. It's leadership. So you're not convincing someone but to buy something that they don't need. You're helping them step into a version of themselves that they deeply desire. So you want to think of it like this, like you're like the lighthouse, not the tugboat. Okay, can you see that? You don't chase people. You don't drag them to shore. You stand tall, you shine in your light, and you guide them safely to their destination, their desired destination, right? And when you fully own the value of your work, sales becomes a sacred service. It becomes fun, right? So you're no longer nervous, you're grounded, you're no longer attached, you're aligned. You're no longer pushing, you're inviting. And that's when your conversions really start to skyrocket. Does that make sense? So here's the bonus that I was talking about earlier. The bonus shift that can immediately boost your sales effectiveness. Um, Record your sales calls and review them weekly. Just do it. Like, you get so much from them, from listening. It's like, and think about, okay, what could I have said differently here? Why was I asking that question? Where was I going with that type of thing, right? And then you can revise your script. I use a script, but it's not really like, I'm not reading from the script. I just pull from it. So, depending on how the conversation goes, I'm really listening. I'm really connected. I'm really, again, trying to understand, gain clarity. I'm curious, caring, concerned, they've come to me because they have a problem. And I'm just trying to see, like, can I help them? Because I can help anybody who's a fit. But so I'm really seeing, okay, are they a fit? And then I'm kind of helping them get out of their own way if they are a fit. That's what I'm looking for, their patterns, things like that. There's a real nuance to it. It was so crazy because I used to hate sales and now I love it. I look forward to the calls with people and helping them. But anyway, most people avoid this because it feels uncomfortable, right? But the fastest way to improve your close rates is to hear how you're showing up on those calls. So ask yourself, am I showing up needy and wanting to be liked? Am I or neutral, right? Or neutral like a doctor? Am I asking powerful, open-ended questions? Am I pausing long enough to let my words land and to really listen to what they have to say? Am I clearly articulating transformation or just listing features and benefits and stuff like that? So this practice alone helped one of my clients go from a 20% close rate to over 60% in just 75 days. Okay. Awareness breeds mastery. So you don't need more leads. You need to convert more of the ones already in front of you. Um, so if you're ready to stop, hoping people say yes and start leading confident conversations that convert premium clients into um, consistently, you know, signing up with you, then join my free training. It's the Fast Track to Money Blueprint recording. You'll learn the exact systems, scripts, and strategies that I use with my private clients to build 10K, 30K, 50K plus months. So what you want to do is you want to click below to register now, because every client that you don't close is an opportunity slipping away. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and drop a comment about what was one thing that you liked about this video in particular, because I read every single one and I love connecting with you. So let's really recap what we covered today. We covered why most sales calls fall flat and how to fix them. We covered my 3-part nail the sale framework. We also covered how to handle objections without pressure and the mindset that makes you magnetic. So remember this, okay? Selling isn't about scripts or manipulation. It's about leadership, alignment, and service, right? I call my sales program the increased sales system, selling from service, right? No sleazy, no cheesy, just really showing up for people. Like I've talked about throughout this conversation, it feels so good. It's so much fun when you can sell that way. Just invite people in, and anyway, the sooner you master this, the faster you'll unlock consistent premium clients and the business that you've always dreamed of. So in the next video, though, I'll show you how to automate your lead flow so that you're not relying on social media alone, so you can stay booked. All right. So I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for being here, and I will see you later.